Let's talk NFC Championship game. This is the only one word for it is bummer. I was ready to see what Brock Purdy was going to look like in this game. I just wanted to see what it was going to happen with him, good or bad. I just needed to see how he was going to handle this crucible and either take the 49ers further than any rookies ever taken a team to the Super Bowl. 4 rookies have made it to the championship Sunday. All 4 of them lost. Not a single rookie's ever started in the Super Bowl, and this looked like we had a real shot at it. And then the first 2 series occurred. Game starts. And what a total, complete, unmitigated disaster of a first quarter, and then ultimately 4 quarters for the San Francisco 49ers. A total, complete, unmitigated disaster. The first quarter finishes up. Nick Bosa did come back, but he limped off. The 49ers lost their possible defensive player of the year candidate, their possible offensive rookie of the year candidate, and the coach of the year. I gave Shanahan coach of the year in my book, and I think he might damn near win it.
I think you're right.
He absolutely should have challenged the Devontae Smith 4th down one-handed grab to start the game. Absolutely should have thrown a challenge flag or at least called timeout, because if you call timeout and then decide to take a look at something and then throw the challenge flag, you can get your timeout back if you're right. You could basically say, I'm challenging. And if you want to even give him the benefit of the doubt, which I like to do, and say, well, how does he know? Because they had to show 15 replays before you saw that he didn't catch it.
Right.
So how is he supposed to know to throw it? Well, 2 things. 1, when the receiver hops up and screams at his team to quickly snap the ball, that is sign number 1 through 100. I should throw a challenge flag.
Little indication.
Oh, you're so you're so confident because most receivers, if they make a play like that, will give some form of the "Are you not entertained?" look to the crowd.
First down.
Okay, not like hurry. Let's. Okay.
Yeah.
So somebody should have noticed that and gotten in his ears. Challenge it, or just throw it. And then the other part is, what's a first half timeout in the first quarter? What honestly? What how? Because you don't even have to throw the challenge flag. Just call the timeout. And then toss it on the field after your guys upstairs have one extra look. And even if they didn't find it, you never know what comes out of that slot machine from replay. You pull the arm, out comes nothing, or a bunch of, you hit the jackpot, which is your ball, nothing. The other team just went for it with a low percentage play on 4th down. They're running the risk first. So you can match their risk by saying, all right, what's the first half timeout, which, by the way, they had in their back pocket at the end of the half. They didn't need it. Wound up, they had it to spare by the end. What a tough way to start. Because who knows if Purdy would have been in that situation where he had Brandon Ayuk, by the way, on a touchdown. Kurt Warner was calling it on Westwood One. He said it. You look at the footage after the game. Purdy said he was looking, as he said, B.A. Brandon Ayuk was open. But here comes Hassan Reddick. Now, when you are, by the way, yes, when you are a first grade pass rusher and defensive lineman, you want to be called a game wrecker. Yeah. Hassan Reddick, who got the fumble, okay, when Josh Johnson, who came into the game, fumbled it later on, he recovered that fumble. He was the reason why Josh Johnson was in the game, because he hit Purdy and hit him in the arm and knocked Purdy out of the NFC Championship game and put Josh Johnson and his journeyman credits into it. And Sirianni decided to throw the challenge flag in the first quarter. and they got the ball back. Now, the Niners defense held and kept this a game that the Niners tied, actually, with Christian McCaffrey making a dynamite play. But that pretty much set the tone. McCaffrey could have put the Niners up 7-0. The Eagles should not have scored on the opening drive, and Purdy might not have been in harm's way if the field position was different, unless you thought it just wasn't the Niners' day and the football gods were going to put Brock Purdy on the sideline. And as he was standing there, all I could think of, again, I just have to go back to my Jet fandom, where I know trap doors open and you're not expecting it. Do you remember last year when you were, TJ, trolling me about Mike White being my starting quarterback?
I mean, trolling, yes. I don't know that I'd say that that's what I was doing.
But you remember, okay, you guys were positing that maybe Mike White was the future quarterback when Zach Wilson was just a rookie and he couldn't answer the bell, and Mike White played so well and then turned right around.
Turned out I was right.
Thursday night football game in Indianapolis. Let's see how Mike White could follow it up. Well, he got hit in his elbow, following through, and exactly what happened to him is what I think happened to Brock Purdy. A UCL strain. He didn't feel anything from his elbow down to his fingertips, and it was painful for him, and he couldn't grip the football.
Isn't that what happened to Josh Allen this year, too?
And Josh Allen got hurt at the very end of the game, so you didn't have to gut it out and see what was going on. And he came back from it the next week, which makes it even tougher that maybe Purdy could have come back from this. We'll find out in MRI how significantly hurt he was. But, you know, you know who came in for Mike White in that Thursday night game? I'll answer it for you. His name was Josh Johnson. Same guy. Same.
Well, he's played for every team,
guy.
So it makes sense.
He has literally, though, played for half the league.
Yeah.
And he, you know, led the touchdown drive, but then had a snap go right off his helmet because he took his eyes off the ball and was looking downfield, which you can't blame him because there's Hassan Reddick, there's Fletcher Cox, there's this Eagles defense, and Ndamukong Suh, who showed up in a jacket, looked like he had his shoulder pads on coming to the game. He's just a huge monster, and Howie Roseman added him. And this defense is lights freaking out. And they, by the way, absolutely dominated the line yesterday on both sides of the football. Both sides of the football. You have to give it up to the Eagles for dominating the trenches because Purdy got hit and Josh Johnson got knocked out for a reason. Because the line couldn't protect him because the front seven for the Eagles is that good. And on the back end, they can cover. Oh, my gosh, all 11 with the front and the back end working together. They are terrific. As a matter of fact, the last team to give up 7 or fewer points in 2 playoff games to make the Super Bowl were the 2000 Ravens. And that was a hell of a defense. The Eagles are playing great on both sides of the ball and road grading their way. And they didn't even throw. I mean, the fourth down play to Devontae Smith was the big pass play. I mean, they didn't go up top all the time. They didn't take the top of the defense off. They just hit the Niners in the mouth. And what the Niners did was melt down. They melted down. They lost their composure. They lost their minds. I mean, Dre Greenlaw hit the ball. He did pull a Rocky, as Greg Olson called it, or as Burkhart, 3 times on the football. He hit the football. But, you know, if the whistle's blown and you see some guy just like punching a fist, like he's punching the meat hanging in the freezer like Rocky, like the meat that Rocky punched, you know, I mean, the flag's going to come out. And it did. You know, Trent Williams lost his mind, too, got ejected. It was just a brutal day all around for the 49ers. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.